Hi there, everyone. Welcome to our special edition of Cafecito Chats. I'm Laura Cortez, and as you probably have seen from our teasers, today our special guest is my mom, and I'm really excited to have her here today because I thought there was no better way than to highlight someone special that has been part of the Cortez Consulting journey. She's been with us from the beginning. You'll get to hear a little bit about her story and what she's done, but I thought it was important also just to highlight someone who I love, who's been inspirational to people we've worked with. And I'll even say that clients that we interact with will often say, "How's your mom?" And so she's made a tremendous impact on our office. I can't thank her enough for all the words of advice she's given me, for the time she's been there for people we work with, and just for her to be that friendly face to check people in at registration, or if you see her running around with us getting things done. So she's just been an important person to me. And so we're going to highlight her today and we're going to bring her on now. So, Mom.
Hi, Laura. Thank you for having me.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. So happy to be here with
Awesome.
you, celebrating your 7-year anniversary with Cortez Consulting.
Well, we showed a clip of returning to the casita, and I wanted to talk a little bit about, do you remember when we started this whole journey, how it was like for you and what we decided and when you decided to join us? So you want to share a little bit with the audience on how we got this journey started?
Well, you and I were having coffee, and you told me um, that you wanted to start a business, and I said, "Well, if you do, I can go ahead and retire and help you." And I think I had been helping you for about half a year before you started hiring some more people.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been a challenging all this 7 years, but it's been very rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing different people that you have hired, your interns, your regular people, that employees, and sharing with them our experience and what we have done for Cortez Consulting.
Mm-hmm. And Mom, you were saying that it was a challenging time. It's also been a fun time, and it's been a time of learning and a time of getting to know new people and new systems. And I remember you were like, okay, we got to get, the cabinets going and the filing system and really helping create the backbone of everything. And I think one of the biggest things that has helped us to go through this process is just personally, I can say that my mom has done so much as a single parent for so long. She had worked multiple jobs. She's always been a really hard worker. And I think that's something, Mom, that you instilled in me, to keep going because, some of you that might be tuning in, starting a small business is a lot of work. It's so many things that you don't expect. But when you have somebody along the way, like to talk, I had my mom to talk to, and some of you might be thinking, whoa, well, how is it to work with your parent or your family member or something like that? And often they say, don't go into business with your family. But when you have somebody who loves you, who's by your side, who can be there with you in your challenges, Mom would always say, well, I know you're just venting and telling me your stories. And so what it really helped me do is kind of go through this, as she mentioned, having the challenges, but having somebody by my side to kind of say, this is hard stuff. How do we solve this? And so with that, Mom, we started doing little afternoon coffee talks. So tell us a little bit about that and what it's been for us as a family to have our little cafecito in the afternoon.
Well, Cafecito has been like a coffee break, but Cafecito has been an old tradition. And Cafecito, to me, I feel like you can connect with other people.
Yeah.
And I felt like with the Cortez Consulting, whenever you would hire somebody new, or even the people that you had, it was Cafecito was connecting. It was connecting to and talking, connecting in a conversation and talking to the people that you had around, and it was enjoyable because it's a gateway to know who they are. And I love doing that. And sometimes just by listening to whatever we were discussing or talking about in general or professional, we were there. And I sometimes they wanted my opinion. And as an old lady, I felt like uh, maybe I could tell them something that they could listen to. So
Hmm.
I really enjoy that, cafecito. It was like, oh, it's 3 o'clock. Let's have cafecito, but it was to connect. The main thing was to connect with each other.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
I felt like that was very important. And going back, what you're saying, as a parent, you always want to have for your children to do good. And I felt like it was very rewarding working with you as
Hmm.
a parent and venting when you wanted to vent because it was good to have each other's back. And
Yeah.
sometimes, just by venting, whatever the problem was, or if it wasn't a problem, just a situation that occurred or an
Hmm.
issue that recurred, it would stay within the family. So
Hmm.
to me, I felt like I had a little bit of background on work, on
You
working
had some
high
experience on giving advice to others. And it's
file.
funny, Mom, because you've been a person that so many people go to advice for, or they're like, let me call Miss Ophelia, or, you find yourself often giving counsel and, even our family or whatever. I mean, you're a rock to so many people. And where do you think that's come from? And how has it been to be in that space or that position?
Well, like I said, it has been very rewarding, being that somebody looked up to me and
Mm-hmm.
wanted my consejito or just to listen, because sometimes the connection that you would have with that person, sometimes it's just listening, and that made me feel good that they looked up to me. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Whatever my opinion was, whether they would take it or not, but or whether just my presence, that was very rewarding. And
Mm-hmm.
helping others has always been one of my things. In other words, I guess that's my gift, just by looking at me, maybe because I'm older or just by and I think since I was the oldest there in the office, because
Yeah.
a lot of your interns and your regular employees were younger than
Mhm.
me. I was the oldest, so
Mhm.
that was very good, and I have felt, very blessed. In other words, to do that, and helping others.
Mhm. Well, Mom, oh, go ahead.
No, 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 that's fine.
I think it's been nice to have someone that's had experience and kind of also help us. I think, we have employees that have all different types of backgrounds, and you were able to be there to give them advice. What would you say has been one of your most memorable experiences? If you could think back to maybe an event we did or something that you did in the office that was really memorable. We had a lot of laughs. I think we were always laughing and cracking up. But maybe if you want to share, what was one of your most memorable experiences when you think back to the work we did?
Well, to me, looking back, and it was like, when we first had our first events,
Mm-hmm.
and how the setting up and teaching, since you and I had the first events just by ourselves, and then when you hire other people, and to me was learning or teaching the other people how to do things to the events and what it takes to do public engagement. And so to me, the most rewarding was my first engagement, public engagement, and how many people were there in those events. And to me, it was like they would all come and with a smile, and I felt people that were so happy and eager of what was it all about. And so, because there were some that there was multiple people that would go, multiple um, things that were there that people wanted to know more about, more information about. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a learning experience for me too.
Mm-hmm. And
Because
what?
I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry.
And it was a learning experience for you. And tell me a little bit about that.
Well, because the learning experience that I did was how other people are innate. You see yourself as oh, okay, well, everything's okay. But then when you see other people, how they're in need of their help, of our help, actually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that itself was a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
How other people are more uh, what is it, more unfortunately, misfortune, and actually.
Mm-hmm.
uh,
And
so
what?
that was something that I learned, and
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate, doing those events, because that was the first experience that I had. But after that, I look forward to having those engagements,
Mm-hmm.
and connect with people and talking, and how other people were in need of our help.
Yes, I think that's so powerful you mentioned that, Mom, because what we do in the service of public engagement and working with the community is that we are in service to others. We are working around a project or with the client, and we have something that we're trying to accomplish when we put together meetings, we put together events. But at the end of the day, you're working with everyday people, and they come, and of course, Mom, you being at the front desk, or you being at the front registration, I would say you got to hear people ask questions, and we had to train others on our staff the importance of being open and welcoming, because you just don't know, as you hear oftentimes in that quote, you don't know what people are going through, what experiences they're having, and they show up to something and they see a friendly face like yours, or they feel comfortable in the situation, and then they say, okay, I have a question that's beyond. Many times I think you have people come up to you and say, I don't know if this is appropriate, or I need to ask you this question. And I think you were the perfect person, Mom, because you were there to be like, I remember you'd come over to us and say, hey, this lady has a question. How do we help her? And we started realizing that community engagement, public engagement, and the work we were doing was really of service to others.
Yes.
Um, so, and I would ask you, Mom, also, was there anything that surprised you kind of as you did this work? You talked a little bit about working with people and how rewarding it was, but did you surprise yourself? I always saw you learning new things and new programs. I think one thing cool about our office is we were constantly having to learn, but did anything surprise you as you kind of came in and worked with us?
The Yes, because my past experience have always been in an office, but working with public engagement has been the multitude of people that you see and you interact with, and and to me, that interacting and always having a smile, and making sure that sometimes with a little smile, that's all people want, to come and ask you a question.
Mhm.
Because and since you always put me in the front to the registration, so you always have to be kind, and make sure that the people, that you're there for them, not for
Mhm.
yourself, for them, to
Mhm.
service the public. And
Mhm.
that itself, that's what I learned, that sometimes when you work in an office, it's just you. I mean, you are serving others, but
Yeah.
sometimes you don't see them. But when you see somebody face to face, and and sometimes, you're surprised of how, what you can do to others.
Yes.
If
Yes.
you're willing to help, it's what you can do for others. And the
Mm-hmm.
service, service, customer service, like they say, even though, we were there to enjoy ourselves and enjoy and help make the transition a little bit easier for everybody.
Mm-hmm. And Mom, I would ask you, you talked a little bit about the impact we made on other people and kind of like what the experience was for you working. I would say, what was something that changed you? How did you see yourself grow? And that you're around all these young people. We were always all over the place and we had high stress and we still do, not to say we don't, but was there something that you learned about yourself that you want to share? And just as people are tuning in, I think you started a second career, which is really amazing to
Yes.
know that you retired and then you kind of had this second career and this second energy to really help us do this. So what did you learn? What did you
I
surprise
didn't know I
yourself
had
with?
it in me. I didn't know I had it in me, but I think what I learned, that working with younger people or with younger persons, um, I feel like I wasn't intimidated by others. I have never been, but I felt that it did something in me that I said, "Oh, I can be, and I can help." Helping, because I felt that not because I was old, but even the younger people needed to be teach
Mhm,
or learn by what I
mhm,
knew, by my experience. And
mhm,
that was what I said. Hey, they come to me because they know that I have the questions whenever, because you and I had started, so they know that I had the questions of what they wanted to know.
yes.
I had the questions of what they wanted to know. So it was learning, and I really enjoyed it. I have always enjoyed working with you,
Mhm.
and
And I would
and
say, Mama, they say that sometimes old remedies stand the test of time. And I've had a dear friend share that with me recently. But old remedies like stand the test of time. And what it really, as you're saying, how you learned from the younger generation and vice versa, how we really came to you, and things that have always existed in the business world, like the etiquette of answering the phones and the etiquette of like always putting others first and having a system in place. It seemed like that was something that you were able to share that maybe we've lost through time. And so I would say that has probably been so significant, even in how we file and make sure we keep things in order. But as we start to think about also, I think one of the things you mentioned early on is your consejito. It's always been something that we've talked about in Cafecito chats, and we've asked every guest that's come on our show some words of advice, a little piece of wisdom they want to leave with others. And since you have been our person of consejitos, always giving your advice and sharing your words of wisdom, what is going to be yours today? What is your consejito for today that you'd like to share with the audience?
well, my consejito for others has been, be true to yourself, be yourself, always pray to God for whatever, to give you wisdom for whatever the situation, and to keep moving. We all have our ups and downs, but we always have to look forward to another day. So that's my consejito. Always be true to yourself, be yourself. Pray that God gives you the wisdom for whatever you want, and also, just move forward. And that's what I would tell whenever some of the ladies or somebody would ask me when we were having cafecito. I said, just move forward, because sometimes it's just things in general or professional, and people don't know. But my thing, or I could say my philosophy, was just keep moving forward and just do your best and move forward. And
Mm-hmm.
that has always been, for me, has always been, I have to look forward for whatever the situation is occurring, just
Mm-hmm.
move forward. And that's all we can do. That's my consejito for whoever's listening.
Tuning in
Sometimes,
today. And
yes.
mom, that has been that's been our mantra for those of you that have seen some, even when the pandemic hit, we wrote about moving forward, and that really came from my mom, because what else can you do other than take two steps ahead? And sometimes even when it's hard and difficult, and when you're just dealing with probably the most emotional and challenging things, that's all you can do. So I guess our consejito that you'll leave with me to give to others also is to keep doing that and being a light or a beacon to others to do that. So I'm getting a little emotional here, but it's because I have my mom. But thank you, Mom, for all you've done for us, for helping us be who we are today, for guiding us through this process, a process that I didn't know, but more importantly, being there for us to have something that we can look back at now, 7 years, to celebrate, because we had you by our side. So I just want to say thank you. And I'll let you say a couple of words if you'd like to, too, before we sign off.
Well, Laura, I want to tell you thank you very much. And I'm very, very proud of you and what you have started with Cortez Consulting and starting your own business. And I want to thank you also for allowing me to be part of your dream. And so to me, that as a parent, it's very, very rewarding. So again, thank you for keeping me in this business with you and being part of your dream. So
Oh,
I love you very much and I wish you the best that a parent could ask for. So love you and
oh.
thank you for having me again. And it was nice celebrating this day with you.
Oh, thank you, Mom. And as you guys can see, I love my mom so much, and we get to share these things. I would tell you, to the people you love, continue to share your closest dreams, your inspirations. And what we've learned so far is that life is so short. Cherish the people that are around you, your friends, your family, whoever you look up to, and whoever's your special person. We hope you enjoyed this time with us today. We're very excited to reach this important milestone. We're excited also of what's to come. And again, Mama, thank you for being here. And thank you, everybody who continues to tune in to Cafecito Chats. We'll
Thank
see you next time. Bye.
you. Thank you.